On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight, thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister Kate, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcia brings the heat, Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Thursday nights, the world will see Black Power Media on the spree. Facebook, YouTube, all aligned, breaking free from every bind. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Ancestral line.
Standing strong on the bridge tonight. We got dreams and we got fight. Voices loud in the city's light. Change is coming into sight. History told by scars and pain. Echoes deep in every name. Legal truths we must reclaim. Through the storm and through the rain. Thorough black talk of you. With Brother Tad, Sister K, Sister Marcia, Brother Blacksmith. Cut the check or no vote, yeah. Justice calls from open skies. Tears that fall, ain't no disguise. Marching forward, no surprise. Strength in hearts you can't downsize. Every voice a sweet refrain. In this fight we share the strain. Through the joy and through the pain, bound together like a chain. Thorough black talk of you. With Brother Tad, Sister K, Sister Marcia, Brother Blacksmith. Cut the check or no vote, yeah.
Good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Kfighter and your brother Tad. Sister Marcia and Brother Blacksmith will be joining us shortly as we try to work out all of these technical difficulties that we are having tonight. Please bear with us. I'm telling you, every time we're ready to bring flames, there's always something. But for my end, it's my fault for rushing in here at the last minute. But that's what happens when you do 100 things at the same time. But if you all can hear me loud and clear, just give me a 1 in the chat, a thumbs up or something, and then we can get going while I work on my output sound over here. So, Brother Tad from the OG Wizard Podcast, up on the Brooklyn Bridge. Here we go. Brother Tad, what's good?
Peace. All right. Can you hear me, sis?
I can hardly hear, brother. I gotta fix my my output sound because I'm not hearing anything.
Okay.
So I'm using another device until I get it together. There was something on the orientation that I was doing earlier with StreamYard, and so it's disabled. So I may have to go right out real quick and then jump back in to bring it back on. But we got a lot to discuss, Brother Tad. We got a lot to discuss.
Shout out to everybody who already here. We definitely appreciate the love and support because we're gonna go in. We know it's a lot of questions.
Say that again.
I said I know we got it.
Man, it's my sound is bad. Knowledge Born said the sound is good. I'm gonna ask Brother Tad to do me a solid.
What's that, sis?
To hold it down and let me reclaim my output, and I'll be right back in 2 minutes. How about that?
No doubt. All right, y'all. But I definitely want to thank y'all for tuning in and rocking out with us today. Shout out to Lumumba Uncaged, Knowledge Born, Sister Electra, Long Time, Jesse, Uncle Jess, what up? Yo, let me say this, though. I really want y'all to put y'all questions in the chat, because this is something very serious and near and dear to our heart. Most of the people who know me and Sister Keisha know us from our work in the Pan-African community. And a lot of times people wondering, why did we delineate? One of the questions I have is, do most of these people who are against us know what delineate means? For us to delineate, it means to give a clear definition of something, not leave it so ambiguous. And in this Pan-African movement, that's what it has been. It's been a lot of ambiguity. People are holistic practitioners. They rocking stones and copper. Some are political, some are religious, some are spiritual, some are free thinkers. Many of us really have to start critiquing and analyzing. What is it about Black Americans that everybody has an issue with? And we stand on that. And this is why we're delineating. Delineating means just to give a clear definition of a thing. Give it a precise definition. When you say Jamaican, what do you think? You think of Jamaica. You don't think of Africa. You don't think about the Caribbean. You think about a Jamaican. When you say Haitians, you think about Haitians. But when you say Black Americans, and this is a general statement, most people think of a group who has no knowledge of self, a group of people who don't know who they are, a group of people who want to be like white folks. And we know that's far from the truth. We've seen celebrities on the continent, off the continent, in the Caribbean, say Black Americans have no culture. Nonetheless, everybody come here to make their fortune. They cosplay our culture that they say we don't have, whether it's hip hop or whatever. They cosplay us, make their money, and then discard the culture that lifted them. Because as Black Americans, we supported everyone. We support the Haitian Revolution. We support independent nations on the continent. We welcome Caribbeans with open arms when they come to this country and move into our neighborhoods, because they damn sure ain't moving into white neighborhoods. But for some reason, everybody got a problem that we delineate. But then I realized most people don't know what delineation is. It's we are redefining ourselves. You're not going to say them stupid ass Black Americans and all the negative things that has been said about Black people in America. So we were Pan-Africans. And as Pan-Africans, we were studying the teachers here in America, in the Caribbean, as well as in Africa. And we was practicing this global African-centered unity that all Black people gonna get along, and we're gonna build this utopia, and we're gonna have the real Wakanda. But in our experience, in our travels, in our journey, we see that is not true, and that is not what everyone wants. Most people who leech off the Pan-African movement only want to build up their nation. So the Haitians, yeah, they'll participate in Pan-Africanism if that means send a few dollars to Haiti and help build Haiti up. And Black Americans, we've definitely done that. You got something going on in Africa? Oh man, let's organize, let's get some money up, let's get some clothes and food. Let's ship this off to the brothers and sisters on the continent. Do the same thing for all Black people all around the country, all around the world. But for some reason, when we have an issue over here, we're fighting and we're protesting and we're boycotting, we don't get the same support. I've been part of African named organizations with little to no continental Africans as a part of it. Or were they even interested? See, I realized in New York, we live in a bubble. I was told this a long time ago by a few people who weren't from New York. They said in New York, all of y'all live on top of each other. Y'all are right next to each other. Black people next to white people, next to continental Africans, next to Caribbeans, next to Asians, next to Spanish. And that's true. That's what New York is. New York is literally a melting pot. But in the rest of the world, that's not a reality. That's not other people's experience. So us living in these confined quarters, we think the rest of the world operate like this. So we run around with that mindset that everything is kumbaya. All people are going to get along. And we know that is not the case. And this is bigger than the Essence Music Festival. Not even there. That's just a symptom of a larger problem. Because I've been in this movement for over 30 years. Haven't seen it budge. Haven't seen anything budge. In fact, I've sat with master teachers, attended the funeral of master teachers and community activists, and the ideas are passing away with them. There's people holding on to the remnants of Pan-Africanism, but there's no results in the ideology. There's nothing tangible that we could grab onto and say, we did this. I think I mentioned it last week in the show. Sister Keisha, can you hear me clearly? Sis, can you hear me? I mentioned this last week in the show. When I attended Dr. Ben's funeral, the Reverend Calvin Butts threw a shot. He said, here lies a man. He spent his life trying to debunk Christianity. And where do y'all have to bury him? And even though, it was painful, it was an indictment on what is our ideology. We keep talking about this stuff and we can't come together as a global community and buy one big building that we can have our Pan-African thought, our Pan-African ideas, our Pan-African meetings and gatherings. We had small institutions. We had the slave theater at one point. We had the Black Lady theater at one point, the National Black Theater at one point. Then was renting out the Alhambra Ballroom. But we had no place that we could literally call our own. And when you talk to the quote unquote master teachers, when you talk to the activists, when you talk to the community leaders, they don't get along with the other leaders. Nobody like each other, but everybody want us to unify. And I'm talking about here in America in the Pan-African community, let alone when you leave the country and you go to other nations. When you go to Nigeria and you find out the Yoruba and the Igbo don't get along, they don't like the Hausa, and then you go to Ghana and realize the beef between the Ga and the Ashanti and all of this stuff. These little nuances that exist. But meanwhile, we're sitting here promoting a global African unification when that is not the reality. And we have to really come to terms that, not saying it can't happen, but we got to clean house within ourselves right now. So I will not denounce my Black American experience. I will not negate the work that my ancestors put in building this place. There's always been a question within the Black community in America. Which land is our land? The homeland or the motherland? This has been an issue since Frederick Douglass and Martin Delany. Martin Delany felt we should go back to Africa, but he said, let's not go to Liberia. Let's go to East Africa. Frederick Douglass said, we might as well stay here because this is the land we built. We literally put our blood, sweat, and tears in building this nation. We have equity in this. Not only that, we designed We designed Benjamin Banneker. We designed Washington, D.C. And with our labor, we built it. That's like going to work, doing a month's work, a month's worth, work, the month's worth of work and not getting compensated. Why would you do all this money and then walk off the job and not get paid? Say, look, I quit, but I still want my money. Now we got to stop doing that. And what I see from my experience and my travels, can you hear me, sis? Sister Keisha, can you hear me? In the event, from my experiences and
I got you, bro.
My travels and my
I hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do, sis. Yes, I do. All right. From all of this work and effort we put in, we see a lot of it is for naught. A lot of it is rhetoric. A lot of what people are talking is rhetoric. It's antiquated speeches because people haven't built anything. If anything, we are literally regressing. Marcus Garvey said in his writing in his speeches that the black American Negro have no peer.
Facts.
We have no peers. Everything everybody talking about, we built here. But we didn't build it on the strength of Pan-Africanism. Now, let's be clear. Black Wall Street, Durham, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Weeksville, Brooklyn, all that stuff we did on the strength of what we already had invested in this land, in this soil. We literally built this. So why would we abandon that? And then we could take it further. We could take it further back to earlier man if we subscribe to the out of Africa theory. Why did so many Africans migrate off the continent? Why did they settle in Asia? Why did they settle in Europe? Why did they settle here in North America? As cited by Dr. David Imhotep in his book, The First Americans Were Africans, or even Dr. Ivor Van Sertima in his book, They Came Before Columbus. We need to really acknowledge that. So if the early Africans, prior to the existence of Europeans, left the continent of Africa to settle and create a new homeland, why do I have to be held to subscribe to that ideology and theory when that's not my reality? Sister Keisha, anything you want to add on to that? Because I don't want to go too deep. I want to go to the pictures. I want to go to the videos. I want to go to the proof and the evidence, because we've done the community work. We've done the rallies. We've done the organizing. We done hosted master teachers, lectured with master teachers, done been back and forth to the continent, established youth groups to educate the children on all of this stuff we're talking about and studied. But we planting seeds in barren land. We're not reaping the fruit of our harvest.
Facts.
Why? Because we're planting our seeds in infertile soil. And the quicker we recognize that, the quicker we could get down to planting in the right places. And I'm not, let me say this for the record, please. I love my continental African brothers and sisters. I love my Caribbean brothers and sisters. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. This ain't that. So don't follow these internet extremists that's talking about hating other black folks. It ain't about hating nobody. When we delineate, we are creating our own identity. We realize we have a unique set of circumstances. You can't call a Jamaican a Haitian, because a Jamaican is not a Haitian. He's Jamaican. He has his own set of standards and morals he lived by, his own culture, his own homeland. Same thing as a Haitian. You can't call him Trinidadian. He's not. But for some reason, black people in America, we got to be a hodgepodge of whatever people identify as blackness. I got to be a Moor. I got to be a Hebrew Israelite. I got to be the lost tribe of Shabazz. I got to be the Zulu Nation. I got to be everything but who I am. And then the question is, who are we? Well, let's start with our parents. Who are our parents? Who were their parents? And who were their parents? Right. And what did they identify as? There's nothing wrong with being yourself. But in this Pan-African ideology, you subscribe to Afrocentricity, where subconsciously you're looking at yourself as less than a continental African, because for some reason your blood is diluted, so you're less than, because these are the real Africans, these are the mothers and fathers of civilization, and we're homogenized because we've been watered down by the white man and all that rhetoric and bullshit that a lot of us still subscribe to. And that's what contributes to the colorism within our community.
Insanity, my brother.
It is insanity.
Insanity.
Again, this ain't about hating Caribbeans or Africans because we love them. That's our family still. All we saying is that.
Let me get Brother Black up on the Brooklyn Bridge. Hold on. Yeah.
All we saying is we not dealing with no more disrespect. Brother Black, what's the
Sorry,
word?
Y'all, I got a delay and I'm working on my sound. At all.
So is my black insectoids family?
What's going on? Yeah, black insectoids. Yeah, what's that about, Black? What insectoids, brother?
Insectoids is a type of entity. They are alien. Hey, Sister Keisha, I didn't mean to ignore you. I'm sorry. Tag got me rolling it right in. Peace to the family. Peace to the bridge. We're gonna get back into that.
It's all right, brother. Just go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing, brother. I'm working. I'm trying to fix these mics in the background.
Now, I'm not even cooking yet. I'm just warming up because you know.
I do wanted to say, hold on.
Yeah, sis.
I did want to just point out the fact. I just wanted to point out the fact that something that Tad mentioned about Marcus Messiah Garvey, and one of the things that I learned is that when you are studying or investigating, right? And I think I mentioned this on this platform before, that any crime scene, when the police show up, they don't start at the beginning of the crime. They start at the resolute of the crime. So say, for example, there's a murder. They appear upon a crime scene. The first thing that uniformed officers do is secure the crime scene. It is no different than when you are studying history, politics, or anything else, right? You see something, you like it. So let me pick up this book. You don't know what the author has written inside, but the title, the cover, maybe some comments intrigued you. So you picked up that book, right? So as you're reading the book, you're waiting to get to the end of the story, the plot, or whatever it is that you're doing. But all of that could have been avoided if you had read the book from the back to the front. And I know that sounds strange to a lot of people, but that's why none of you have degrees in police science. I happen to go to school for police science. So you have to learn how to study. Now, when you look at Marcus Messiah Garvey, right? First of all, let me switch this real quick, because we have to give some context and some understanding, Brother Tad. Let me just switch this. Stop sharing that and then switch over to something else. Now, most people, when they talk about Pan-Africanism, I'm talking about Gen Xers and millennials and those who come after, right?
Right.
The only thing that you really understand about the history of Pan-Africanism is based on what it is that you have read. But if I ask the average person, who are the founders or the fathers of Pan-Africanism, most people would probably mention Marcus Messiah Garvey, because he was the most out there with it, if you will. In fact, he came on the tail end of Pan-Africanism. It was a meeting that was held between Martin Delany, Edward Milmar Blyton, and Henry Sylvester Williams. W.E.B. Du Bois came in later. All of these 4 or 5 gentlemen had their own beliefs, their own ideologies, and their own understanding as to what it is that they think that they should do for our people. So that's what happened. You had Martin Delany, who was a free Black man, a businessman, a physician, an attorney, and an advocate for freedom. In fact, he put out the edict that any enslaved person who passed his threshold was safe, and anybody who came looking for them would surely meet their fate. All right, that was the philosophy of Marcus Messiah Garvey. Now, when Edward Wilmar Blyton came in, he came in with the perspective of him growing up in St. Thomas, and the information that he had from the areas of which he was born, he and his family, and they were enslaved. Okay. W.E.B. Du Bois. Some people have various perspectives about him, but he did a hell of a lot of work on behalf of immigration, believe it or not, because W.E.B. Du Bois assisted Booker T. Washington during the inception of Tuskegee. So a lot of people don't know that history as well. So they had a pretty good relationship until later on, when W.E.B. Du Bois got into some friction, if you will, with what's his name, Monroe Trotter. So anyway, there were some things that happened. So, they pretty much went their own way, but they still remain mutual friends. And this is just based on my reading of their writings on the situation at the time. Now, let's pan straight down to Marcus Messiah Garvey, because he is the most visible. Everybody knows about the red, black, and green flag. So pretty much when people think about Pan-Africanism, they equate it with Marcus Messiah Garvey and his philosophy of the UNIA. In fact, he wrote a book, right? The Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Messiah Garvey, not Pan-Africanism. And people ran with that, and they still do to this day. Okay, stick on that principle. Let's stay with Garvey on that principle. I want you to now look at when Garvey first came into the United States, right? What did he say when he first came into the United States? And this is what he said. He said in this speech that was published and written in 1917, as you guys can see right there, he says, "I have been in the Americas for 8 months. My mission to this country is to lecture and raise funds to help my organization, the Universal Negro Improvement Association of where? Jamaica. To establish an industrial and educational institute to assist in educating the Negro youth of that island. I am also engaged in the study of Negro life in this country. I must say at the outset that the American Negro ought to compliment himself, as well as the early prejudice of the South, for the racial progress made in 50 years, and for the discriminating attitude that had led the race up to the high mark of consciousness, preserving it from extinction. This is why, and Garvey said it here, Black Americans are so prominent, so successful, and so progressive, is because of our race consciousness that the rest of the diaspora did not have." Let me read on. "I feel that the Negro who has come in touch with Western civilization is characteristically the same. And but for the environment, there would have been no marked difference between those of scattered race in the Western Hemisphere. The honest prejudice of the South was sufficiently evident to give the Negro of America a real start, the start with a race consciousness, which I am convinced is responsible for the state of development already reached by the race. A Fred Douglass or Booker Washington never would have been heard of in American national life if it were not for the consciousness of the race in having its own leaders. In contrast, he says the West Indies has produced no Fred Douglass, no Booker Washington after 78 years of emancipation, simply because the Negro people of that section started out without a race consciousness." This is what Garvey said when he first got here. Okay, let's move on. "I have traveled a good deal through many countries, and from my observation and studies, I unhesitantly and unreservedly say that the American Negro is the peer of all Negroes, the most progressive, and the foremost unit of expansive chain of scattered Ethiopia. industrially, financially, educationally, and socially. The Negroes of both hemispheres have to defer to their American brother, the fellow who has revolutionized history in race development, inasmuch as to be able within 50 years to produce men and women out of the immediate bond of slavery, the latches of whose shoes many a favorite son and daughter have been yet unable to loose. It still replies today. Tell me in the Caribbean, where is they, Booker T. Washington? Where is there Fred Douglass? It still doesn't exist. You are still lagging behind. As I travel through the various cities, I have been observing with pleasure the active part played by the Negro men and women of the commercial and industrial life of the nation. In the cities I have already visited, which include New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Washington, Chicago, I have seen commercial enterprises owned and managed by Negro people. I have seen Negro banks in Washington, Chicago, stores, cafes, restaurants, theater, and real estate agencies that fill my heart with joy to realize in positive truth and not by sentiment that at one center of Negrodom, at least the people of the race have sufficient pride to do things for themselves. We did not flee 50 years out of enslavement. We built communities, we built industries, we made inventions, and we built wealth. Continue. The acme of the American Negro enterprise is not yet reached. You still have far way to go. You want more stores, more banks, and bigger enterprises. I hope that your powerful Negro press and the conscientious element among your leaders will continue to inspire you to achieve. I have detected during my short stay that even among you, there are leaders who are false, who are mere self-seekers. But on the other hand, I am pleased to find good men, and two, those who fight for the uplift of the race is one of life and death. We fight to the death here. We don't flee. You have to respect that. I have met some personalities who are not yet prominent in the limelight, for whom I have a strong regard as towards their sincerity in the cause of race upliftment. And I think more of their people as real disciples working for the good of the race than many men whose names have come nationally and internationally known. We still suffer from that today. Somebody got a well-known name, you gravitate towards that. They got a huge following, you gravitate towards that. That's why you're stuck with Dr. Sukiyana now. But I'm going to continue. He said, in New York, I have met Johnny Bruce, a man for whom I have met the strongest regard, inasmuch as I have seen in him a true Negro, a man who does not talk simply because he is in a position for which he must say or do something, but who feels honored to be a member. I can also place in this category Dr. R.R. Wright, Dr. Parks, Vice President of the Baptist Union, Dr. Trilly of the M.E. Church of Philadelphia, Reverend J.C. Anderson of Quinn Chapel, and Mrs. Ida B. Wells Barnett of Chicago. With men and women of this type who are conscientious workers and not mere life service dignitaries, I can quite understand that the time at hand when a stranger such as I, will discover, the American Negro firmly and strongly set on a pinnacle of fame. The West Indian Negro has 78 years of emancipation, has nothing to compare with your progress. Educationally, he has, in the exception, made a step forward, but in general, he is stagnant, and you still are. That's why people are still leaving or want to leave. I have discovered a lot of vain bluff. That's what he said about y'all. I have discovered a lot of vain bluff as propagated by irresponsible type of West Indian Negro who has become a resident of this country. Bluff to the effect that conditions are better in the West Indies than they are in America. Now, let me assure you honestly and truthfully that they are nothing of the kind. The West Indies in reality could have been the ideal home for the Negro, but the sleeping West Indian has ignored his chance ever since his emancipation, and today he is at the tail end of all that is worthwhile in the West Indies. The educated men are immigrating to the United States, Canada, Europe. The laboring element are to be found by the thousands in Central and South America. These people are leaving their homes simply because they haven't the pride and courage enough to stay at home and combat the forces that make them exiles. If we had the spirit of self-consciousness and reliance such as you have in America, we would have been far ahead of you. And today, the standard of the Negro development in the West would have been higher. We haven't the pluck in the West Indies to advocate for or demand a square deal and blame. And the blame can be, attributed to none other source than the indolence and lack of pride among themselves.
Gracious.
That's your Pan-African hero.
Gracious.
Huh?
Gracious.
Let's finish. Let not the American Negro be misled. He occupies the best position of all Negroes up until the present time. And my advice to him is to keep up his constitutional fight for equity and justice. Stand down, diaspora. The Negroes of the West Indies have been sleeping for 78 years and are still under the spell of Rip Van Winkle. These people want a terrific sensation to awaken them to their racial consciousness. We are throwing away good business opportunity in the beautiful islands of the West Indies. We have no banks of our own, no big stores, no commercial undertakings. We depend on others as dealers while we remain consumers. The file is here open and ready for anyone who has the training and ability to become a pioneer. If enterprising Negro Americans would get hold of some of the wealthy Negroes of the West Indies and teach them how to trade and do things in the interest of their people, a great good would be accomplished for the advancement of the race. Negro masses in the West Indies want enterprises that will help them to dress as well as the Negroes in the North of the United States, to help them live in good homes, and to provide them with furniture on an installment plan, to ensure them in sickness and death, to prevent a pauper's grave. Declaration of Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World. We, the duly elected representatives of the Negro peoples of the world, invoking the aid of the just and almighty God, do declare all men, women, and children of our blood throughout the world free citizens. Do claim them as free citizens of Africa, the motherland of all Negroes. International Convention in New York, not in Jamaica, not in Africa, in New York. The philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, Africa for the Africans. This is pages 14 to 16 in selected works, speeches, and writings of Marcus Messiah Garvey. The reason why I continue to read that is because all of these Pan-Africanists that came in later, I have a question. Because Alton used to always say this. He says, when you study something, study the architects. Right? He says, study the architects of anything that you want to know, because that will give you the blueprint and it'll also give you clear vision of everything that you're seeing. So if Marcus Messiah Garvey said that he came to the U.S. to study us, to study what Booker T. Washington was doing with Tuskegee, so that he can model a plan after that for his UNIA organization of Jamaica. And when he got here and he saw what he saw, I bet you he didn't go back there until he was deported. Now, why would I follow someone who followed the architects? That doesn't make sense. Do you want an original or a lithograph? Even Dr. Taurine Wright, in her book, talked about how Garvey identified Washington as his ideological elder. That's what he said. So why follow what came after instead of the architect? He went to the architect. Sister Pat said that's what he said. We were trained to look for architects. That's why we can see shit clearly and y'all can't. We were given a master plan on how to read this, his history and politics, and how to see it coming. So again, I ask you, family, if Garvey was following them and you following Garvey, which is a copy of them, he said we were the best. He's the image of Pan-Africanism today. I'm just saying, where we at? Where are we? Hold on. One more thing I want to show y'all real quick. Hold on. Gotta pull this up because we were talking about Alti, and I have something here that I think you might find a little interesting, right? Let's see, Sister Pat, I got something for you right here because never mind, I'm gonna wait to the end. Wait to the end because it's important. So again, like I said, why follow a copy when I can follow the original? And people got issues with Booker T. You got issues with Fred Douglass, but that's who Garvey followed. That's who he said his ideological elders. So when he came, from the words that I read, he said he was coming for his own purpose, not a Pan-Africanist mindset. Show me those who stand with Pan-Africanists, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I have questions, and I question you. If your image of Pan-Africanism told you something different, what are you doing? What are you doing? Even in that case, when you look at the UNIA was not built by Garvey by himself. Stop believing that myth. There's a book by Dr. Keisha M. Blaine called Set the World on Fire. And she talks about the women of the UNIA. Mrs. Minnie Maud Lena Gordon brought in 300,000 by herself. She was a New Yorker. You see, you learn certain things, but when more information is revealed and you refuse to pivot, you're a cultist. And a lot of Pan-Africanists are cultists.
Say it again.
You operate that way, you dress that way, and some of y'all smell that way.
Such a polite, where you at?
I'm not telling no lies. So when you look at somebody like a brother Tad, you know, Sister Kfighter over here. Let me pull this out. Sister Mama, excuse me, Marcia, you ready? Let me tell you. She says yes. Sister Marcia, Africans on the rise up on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Wing yell.
Just over here getting my lesson on with my notebook in my hand.
Peace.
Happy Blacktastic Thursday to my family, Brother Tad, Sister Keisha, Brother Black. Hope everyone's doing good. Everyone online, I hope y'all got y'all notebooks because this is study time. And as a good student, you have to write down notes so that you can prepare great questions.
That's right.
Hey, Sister Keisha, before you go back in, did you read the comment by Brother Cimarron Reed?
And like, Brother Tad said, we met some phenomenal people.
Shout out to Brother Cimarron. Yeah, we have. And Sister Keisha, I think that's what people get it.
Hold on 1 second. I know what I'm doing. Well, since we went there, Brother Black went there, jumping a gun. Now I'm listening. Again, he said, I feel, Brother Cimarron, welcome back, brother. He said, I feel you, but Garvey was not Pan-African. Garvey was a Black nationalist. Garvey disavowed Pan-Africanism. Really? You need to get that book, okay? Really? You see, when he first got here, things was a whole lot different. And that red, black, and green flag, no, well, I can't say that. You're part right, Brother Cimarron. Some people do see it as a Black nationalist flag, but most see it as a Pan-Africanist flag. In fact, when you go on most Pan-Africanist websites, they are bantering the red, black, and green. So I ask you, to my brothers and sisters in the chat, shout out to Sister Veronica, I see you. She said exactly, the Black nurses and other women built many movements. That's a fact. And let me tell you something. Along with these Pan-Africanist movements come bad behavior.
Yeah.
And you can start with Garvey. Would you like to? Huh?
Now, sis, we can talk about why we left.
Cheated on his wife with her best friend who had the same name, and then he married her? Trifling. When it was the first Mrs. Garvey that saved his goddamn life?
And then went to London
after, put up the money
went to London,
for UNIA.
And then went to London to chase after the first Amy, abandoning the second Amy with 2 boys. Let's talk about it.
And you know what the irony of this all is? That when he finally gained...
So a lot of y'all Pan-Africanist leaders, the ones y'all love so much. Hold on, Brother Black. Hold on. Because I do have mic issues, and I'm trying to.
We can hear you clearly.
Output issues.
No,
I'm trying to control the 4 of you and myself at the same time. So
sis, can you hear me?
Pause, okay?
Sis, can you hear me?
A lot of these organization leaders have duped the movement, have stolen from the movement, cheated on their wives, cheated on their husbands, abandoned their children, tried to start polygamous sets, tried to put in all kind of cultish behavior. Even when it's tried to spill over into straight Black pride. Brother Tad and Ashe, they know what freaking time it is. They saw it off the rip. Dude wanted to be down with New York. I had went away on vacation. But when I came back, my brothers handled the problem. I didn't even know it was a problem. Because they knew I wouldn't have went for that crap. And I probably would have buck 50 his face for telling me that.
Yep.
A lot of it went on.
Sis,
go back. We'll go to Black. Go ahead.
No, I was going to tell you because we can hear you clearly. We haven't lost you once. So maybe it's your output, on your side, just your headphones, because your mic is working perfectly. But to your point, the cultist movement.
It's totally my output. It's totally my output. Yeah, it's totally my output.
It's why we left the movement. And again, we met some beautiful, phenomenal brothers and sisters, but we are independent thinkers over here. We think for ourselves. We get this information, we pivot accordingly. Some of the people are stuck in this antiquated rhetoric. That's why Dr. Umar could be the leader in the quote unquote Prince of Pan-Africanism, and no one is yet, not one organization in the Pan-African community has held his feet to the fire or dealt with him accordingly. And when those of us try to, we get vilified and called agents and things of that nature. So we're not going to deal with that. If we're not going to be honest about who's the enemies and traitors within the organization, how can we really move forward? And I'm off my soapbox. Sister Marcia?
I just, Brother Black, just give me 1 second to echo on Brother Tad. In terms of accountability, you can't hold someone accountable when you can't hold yourself accountable. Accountability means I am a man that could check myself or a woman that could check myself and be checked. And unfortunately, in our community, there are very few people that can be checked and check themselves. There, you show me where and I'll bow down. But I've been in these spaces and I've seen some reckless stuff happening, and everyone is just like, it's okay, and it doesn't have to matter. Oh, you know, they're doing the best they can with what they got. No, people are out here destroying lives left and right, and the repercussions of the destruction. No one, you see the tattered faces on our people, especially when you're in like spaces like the African Street Theater, African Street Festival. You see all these broken faces who was clamming on an idea that couldn't come to fruition because no one could check anyone. And once you start talking about checking people, everyone tells you to bow down. No, you can't do that. Oh, sister, you going in wrong places. So that's all I wanted to say about that, Brother Black.
No, that's right and exact.
Yeah, with all that, what happened, it's ironic that when Garvey gained an audience with Haile Selassie basically rejected him. So, you know, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
No one talks about that. No one talks about, you know, everyone says Haile Selassie is the great.
I just wanted to mention something that
She froze?
Dr. Filet put up on the screen. Shout out to Dr. Filet and the MWM crew, Brother Lumumba. See all y'all. So let me just get into it. She says Markey did not call himself a Pan-Africanist. I believe that's what you meant. Others attributed that to him after various political views, concepts, ideals, etc. We're being expressed and expounded on and then somewhat codified. Well, Garvey used to attend the church. And I have the article when his first wife came back to Brooklyn. And she talked about a meeting, a Pan-Africanist meeting that she went to prior to coming to Brooklyn. As a matter of fact, she went over there by Brownsville where Betsy Head Park is now. That's where she went. And I think I showed the article a few years ago up here. I don't have it queued up right now. But she talked about seeing him again at the Pan-African meeting that was attributed to Hubert Harris, that Garvey idolized Hubert Harris.
Look him up.
And when he first came here, that was his ideal. I need people to please read the writings of his first wife. Please read the material of the first Mrs. Garvey, because a lot of people don't talk about her. And I find that to be problematic. You know, to me, that's a problem. But anyway, so Brother Lumumba, shout out to Brother Lumumba, Philly in the building. We can talk about the flaws of all the architects, men, women are flawed. Listen, Brother Lumumba. So what should we do? Just let bad behavior go unchecked? And that's what's been happening.
Hold on, Sister Keisha.
That's what's been happening since its inception. There is no checks and balances. There is no code of conduct. That's why the movement is stagnant. That's why. No code of conduct. And that's why you got people like a Al Sharpton who can run them up. That's why you got people like Shirley Chisholm who totally disrespected our legacy. For white women and immigrants and everybody else, there is no code of conduct. And when me, Brother Tad, later on in our life, tried to establish such, we were haunted by Pan-Africanists.
Shout out to King Simon. Yep. Hey, our brother Black Dot.
Go ahead, Tad. Go ahead.
No. Look, you brought a brother Black Dot on the picture. Hey, sis, did you start his book? Phenomenal. Brother Black Dot's book. If y'all haven't read it yet, please support our brother Black Dot.
Tomorrow. Don't tell me nothing. Tomorrow.
No, I'm just telling people, get his book. Please get brother Black Dot's book. I gotta laugh to keep from crying. I didn't start living till I thought I was dying. Fly. But what I'm saying, in this Pan-African community, and our brother Lumumba, shout out to you, we are not identifying as a cult. We identifying our lineage, our direct bloodline. Sure enough, in the Pan-African community, we saying let's honor and pay homage to our ancestors, but we are paying homage to foreign ancestors because seldom do we acknowledge those within our own bloodline. My mother transitioned 4 years ago. She is literally an ancestor. I honor her. I honor her father. I honor my paternal grandmother because my maternal grandmother is still alive. I knew both of my grandmother's mothers. Both of them identified and was registered as Native American. That's where my light complexion come from. There's so much information that we ignore to adopt other people's ideas and ideologies. You get 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 grandparents, and 16 great-grandparents. Do you think all of them have the same exact bloodline? The same unique experience? It takes so many people to make one person. So for each 16 person, we Black people in America are not a cult. Let's always remove that off the table. These Pan-African groups are cults. Why do I say that? Because many of them can't even stick together and get along. There we go, right there, Sister Keisha. Open it up. Look how many people it takes to make one you. Look at the generations. You mean to tell me all these people are a monolith? And if we subscribe to that, that goes into the European ideology that all Black people are the same. But we don't see all white people are the same, and neither do they. All Asians don't see themselves as the same. And when you hit the continent of Africa, they don't all see themselves as the same. Ghanaians don't see themselves as Egyptians. Egyptians don't see themselves as South Africans. South Africans don't see themselves as Ugandans. Ugandans don't see themselves as Kenyans. As Black Americans, and we say foundational Black Americans, because guess what? Barack Obama, by all intents and purposes, is a Black American. Kamala Harris, if you want to subscribe to her identity politics, is a quote-unquote Black American. But how many of their ancestors sweated, cried, and bled for the foundation of this country? Like I said, Bishop Banneker designed the U.S. Capitol. Our ancestors' slave labor built the U.S. Capitol. We literally built this country. And then when you study Van Sertima, Dr. David Imhotep, and so many other people that talk about Black people being here prior to European invasion, why does it not stand the reason that some of us are the descendants of those Blacks who already been here prior to the Great Mayafa? Are we that narrow-minded, or have we subscribed to other people's ideology and not investigated our own family, our own lineage, and our own bloodline, that we decided we're going to have an eponymous identity? Somebody just tell us that and we're that. So it stands to reason if somebody just come to me and tell me I'm a Moor, I should put a lampshade on my head and run around and say I'm a Moor, because such and such said so. We have to investigate our own bloodline. And that's what FBA is. We're going back to family is. We not subscribing to other people's ideas. And again,
Thank you.
All around the world. We all
These are the same folks, Brother Tad, who don't even, they can't tell you their bloodline.
No, they can't.
They can't tell you. They will never tell you who is in their bloodline.
And all of these,
but you idolizing and following somebody else, a mystery, a myth. You internalize information as if it is your own. That's cultist. I'm sorry. Look up the definition of a cultist and a cult.
And FBA is not a cult. It's our
Nobody can check it. Nobody can say nothing. If it's too bad, you're getting dissented. If you stand on your own, you're getting dissension. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And backbiting and backstabbing.
And we're divorcing ourselves from that ideology. No, because we were part of the African Village, United African Movement, some other African organization. We was a part of all of them, but we had no continental Africans in it supporting us when it really came down time to do the work. Now, I can only speak for myself. I've been back and forth to the continent to build, not sightsee, but to build. Invested my money in land. Raise funds to support the children's education on the continent. Got pictures, videos, and the stamps in my passport to prove it. It wasn't a luxury vacation. There ain't no luxury over there. We gotta, started youth groups.
You ain't gotta tell nobody nothing.
We have done.
Our resume speaks for itself.
That's just us. And shout out to Straight Black.
Our resume speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And all of these people who making conversations now, and yes, shout out to the crew. It's no hate over here.
Nah, it's a lot of love.
I got people I'm friends with. They Pan-Africanists, Black nationalists, Moors, Hebrew Israelites, Nation of Islam. If you cool, we rocks. That's how it is. But if you want some crazy stuff, then I can see you where you want to meet it. And we can handle however way you wish. That's how I roll. So, it's no hate over here. I never threw no hate to nobody. But we get it, though. We get it. The people who don't have freaking resumes. Nobody know who the hell you are. You came in on the tail end of the movement when it was over. And you got some viral videos and crap like that.
Yeah.
Or you got a business here or a business there. Or you having meetings. Don't you know the United African Movement went to court so that you can have private meetings? You know it was illegal, right? You know we got sued and we won. As Ty said, African Village, Africans on the Rise, United African Movement. How many of the 54 African nations are represented in those organizations? I will wait.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, stop playing with me.
A big
Y'all
part
know
of
that this has been one-sided.
Yes.
And those who say it ain't been one-sided, somebody sending you a check, or you definitely deep in a code.
I could say that.
Yes, sis. You talking about here?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? I could say that within Africans on the Rise, there are continental parents who are either just entering and have little children and are trying to assist them in becoming their glorious African self living in America. But that's what I can say. And again, African on the Rise as it stands today is
how many in your organization that are holding up your organization, equally paying into the organization?
3. Again, Africans on the Rise is a small, just started. It's not a national thing. It's
okay.
And we have about
I know about Africans on the Rise. You ain't got to explain it to me, sis. I know
students. So I'm just saying, on that small term, there is a nice percentage of everyone of a mix. Now, as you are saying, in terms of these organizations that are long-standing, like a CMOTAP, like a African Village, like a National Black United Front, like all of those organizations that are 40 plus years old. Where are the Africans there? I want to see those numbers as well.
Yeah, and we don't see that in this picture right here too. Just to give it a little context.
Sister Pat, I know Sister Pat is in the chat.
Sister Keisha, can you hear me?
I know it's some UAN people in the chat. Should we tell them about these organizations tonight? Should we tell the truth? Should we blow up their dreams, wishes, and hopes and aspirations? Or should I hold it for another day? You tell me, Sister Pat, because we know the real. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Sister Farnessa's friend.
Pan-Africanism as a function, as established by its founders, is flawed. It is heavily weighted on those of us in the U.S. Heavily weighted. So much so that your former president went into an agreement with the African Union on our behalf. And like any other slave trader, they received reparations to the tune of $55 billion. You don't believe me? Go to the whitehouse.gov and see it for yourself.
Sister Keisha, post a picture of us with Dr. Africana. See, when you talk about the African Union, we got busy.
Hold on, I got the picture queued up too. Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, we got busy. But this picture right here is me in Ghana. The middle one is Ethiopia. That's me with the children in Ghana. Harriet Tubman gravesite. Right there, that picture, Sister Keisha, that's Dr. Africana right there. The former spokesperson of the African Union. And that's me over there with the white dashiki. And Sister Keisha, they asked me to speak, and I said, no, I got somebody better. My Sister Keisha. And we brought Sister Keisha in, and she blew the house. There she go right there. See Dr. Africana sitting at the table. My sister Oluwatoyin Malola sitting there. And Sister Keisha. So when we talk about Pan-African, when we talk about doing the work, we link with the folks, with the real folks on the ground, on the soil, folks in high places. We wasn't playing with it. It was more than Facebook posts for us. We was literally living this. But again, we recognize it as a cult. And in fact, Dr. Africana was relieved from her position when she blasted the African Union for allowing Bill Gates to be the keynote speaker. See, we keep talking this Pan-African stuff, and they be inviting the enemies in. Everybody do. So it ain't just the Pan-Africans in America inviting enemies into the midst. It's the Pan-Africans on the continent inviting enemies in our midst. Mind you, this is prior to COVID. And we know who Bill Gates is. We know what he's all about. So we don't even have to play like we stupid and don't know that Bill Gates is all about the big G word. Like he's not looking for the second Mayafa of our folks. But they invited him in. She blasted him and they got rid of her. But this is what we're doing. We're talking with serious people. And of course, that's us with Dr. Renoko Rashidi, peace be upon him. We literally did the work. Even coming right here.
Yes. I'm gonna go through because they don't know our resume tag and they playing games out here.
Hold on, stop right here. Go back. Go back up a little. That's me with Dr. Walima Barudi's book Kabuka at the Dungeons on the Continent. That's me paying homage to the Queen Mother Harriet Tubman. That's her grave site right there. Work. This is work. Go ahead, sis. Go to the next joint. Because I know we got limited time. So you could go to the next flicks. Because we want to show that's us at the Great Blacks and Wax Museum with the children. Sister Keisha, come on, sis.
Mm-hmm.
We was outside.
There you go.
Outside fully.
We ain't got all day. We'll be here all night showing our resume.
Outside fully.
This one we tried to establish the code of conduct. Shout out to King Simon.
Yeah, shout out to our brother King Simon.
King Simon, he ain't feeling this whole FBA thing.
Right.
But that's my brother. We rocks.
And we never had a conversation with King Simon.
I don't understand why.
But
nobody got a problem with identifying as Jamaican. Nobody got a problem with identifying as Haitian. Nobody got a problem with identifying as Puerto Rican. Nobody got a problem with identifying as Cuban. Knock it off.
And that's what it is.
And I'm going to tell you why at the end why y'all so mad. But go ahead.
There's so many people who misrepresent on the internet with this extremism. Everybody, a lot of people, I won't say everybody, a lot of people on the internet are cultists and extremists. So they're disrespectful to one another. We understand black people are not a monolith. King Simon is Jamaican, but he's always going to be our brother. I don't care what nobody say. Sister Marcia is Haitian. She's my sister. Blacksmith is from Belize. He's still my brother, regardless to what. We have a real connection. But what's happening? I was
from the Bronx.
See, I ain't want to put mud on your name. But
you know, you representing your mother right now, so you stand tall.
We try to help you. You see,
they're from Honduras. Y'all always say Belize. My grandmother's Belize.
But you see, I don't think you correct us enough. So we like to say Belize. So you need to stand strong. You know, when they say something wrong, like when people say something wrong, I'm quick to say, please, the correction.
Now, hold on, because I want to talk about this because...
Don't do it. Don't do it.
When this picture right here with Miss Thelma. Now y'all remember the older woman who was beaten in the Red Apple Nail Salon.
By the Asians.
When that whole protest and all of that took place, by the Asians. When that whole protest and everything took place, you know, it was Sister Brooke, boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. Then other people came and co-opted it. We was in the park, Straight Black Pride Convention. Yo, Miss Thelma live over here. She do work, take me to her house. I came back with Miss Thelma and her grandkids. Now all these Pan-Africanists in the city of New York, y'all ain't never seen her. She ain't never seen none of y'all. All that tough talk. Ain't seen none of y'all.
Shout out to our Straight Black.
When it came for trying to bridge the gap with the next generation, I'm the one who brought them all into UAM. This is just a fact. And everybody knew. If you came through UAM, you were validated. Period. Period. We'll be here for 2 days showing pictures. That's how much I got. When the Puerto Rican brother, right here, Ramsey Order, I'm right here, Mike Gray's right here, Alton right there. Where the Latinos at? Why they wasn't in court with him? Why?
Now,
he always holding up the majority of the bargain.
Ramsey Orders from Staten
Island. Even Garvey knew it.
Ramsey Orders from Staten Island, right? What was
even Garvey knew it.
Yeah, he was the one that basically filmed Eric Garner's situation.
Who is that in Delaware over here? Delaware for the lynching that was taking place at DSU. That's how we met up with Dr. Jahi Issa.
Yep.
Right here.
Shout out to my brother.
Then we left DSU and went to Bo Biden's office.
Where?
To shut it down.
Whose office?
I lost a lot of weight looking at these pictures.
The president's dead.
Where these folks at?
That's right.
I never seen none of y'all. And back then, I ain't never seen none of y'all who claim to be was down about it back. None of y'all was there. So what you're talking about is a feeling. Something you heard, something you read, because you damn sure wasn't there. Here we is in Philly, Freedom Party in Philly. Support and move. And Mumia Abu-Jamal. Back when the execution stalled the first time, UAM took busloads. Busloads of people.
I was there.
Pan-Africa again. Shout out to C. Gutter. Knock it off, family. The Black Dot.
Yes, sir.
Alton and Sharp James. That was a great evening. If y'all remember that, up in Harlem. Dr. Baruti. I was given an award. Yo, y'all better stop playing. Not the fake Rick Ross, but the real one.
That's right.
For the MWM anniversary. I was there. Where all them Pan-Africanists from the continent, the Caribbean, and South America? They wasn't there. Because I damn sure didn't see them. Unless Dr. Filet had them hidden in the closet, they wasn't there. Where all of these groups at? Like I said, Brother Divine, shout out to the Freedmen Project, reached out to more than 50 organizations, Caribbean and African organizations in the state of New York. The only thing that brother asked is, will you support us for lineage-based reparations? Them bastards didn't even give him a reply back. They didn't even respond. They couldn't even be courteous enough to respond. Ramali Grant's father, out of his own mouth, at the Adam Clayton Powell State Building, at a Million Youth March conference. That's the same conference Charles Barron almost got beat up at by Bruce Coatney. He said, and I quote, "We came here for a better life. We thought y'all was crazy, always complaining. Until it happened to me. And y'all was the first one to show up for me. None of these people were here. We have pedophiles in Brownsville sexually assaulting his own stepdaughter in the church. We went down there and got rid of that pedo. We made sure he went to prison. All of these groups, oh, we against pedophilia. We against, none of y'all was there. None of these Pan-Africanists was there. None of them were there. There were 4 different representation of clergy there. 100 blacks in law enforcement who care was there. A couple, and I mean 2, from the Nation of Islam was there. None of these folks was there. So I'm not with that. It's a bad operating system. I remember Alton specifically fighting for a particular family of the Caribbean descent. Where were they for him? Where were they? Nowhere to be found. And he put it all on the line for them. They were nowhere to be found. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 people or a couple of people. I'm talking about organizations. The way the United African Movement was there for everybody. None of these groups was there for him. None of them. When it came down to the Freedom Retreat for boys and girls, black led, black financed, all the teachers were black. Professor Kaba wrote the damn curriculum. Sister Veronica Nikki was a nurse. Where were these organizations at? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Peace be upon our dear sister Colia Clark. Stand next to the wife of Dr. Jeffries, Sister Rosalind Jeffries, Sister Leah. These made their transition, man. These 2 right here. Colia Clark, Mega Evers' personal secretary.
Beautiful sister. Beautiful sisters. So much knowledge. Ready to share.
I'm tired of the games and lies people be playing out here.
And people don't want to sit with elders.
Peace be upon Miss Judy.
I think that's one of the biggest
Professor
problems.
at LIU, former professor at LIU and UAM songstress.
I don't think Sister Keisha hear us.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Sister was showing
She
race
did
war
say she had
queens.
some output problem.
We showed up. We didn't have to. I could stand in my goddamn bed. But we showed up. at the Cotton Club. UAM always had its formal events at the Cotton Club. A black-owned
Law Study
establishment.
Group.
That's me right there, waiting for my award.
The Law Study Group every Saturday
I brought
morning.
Brother Black in. You see Brother Black? You see Umar?
You slim.
I brought Dr. Short in. And guess what? Pan-Africanists didn't want to hear from him. This is a fact. Ask him. They didn't want to hear from him. Ask him when you talk to Dr. Short. If I'm lying. I've been in it. I don't know what people talking about. Here's the Freedom Retreat class. You see Professor Kaba? Look how young and skinny and stuff he was. None of these folks was there. Shout out to Brother Ray Ray in the BK William Mackey History Club. When we were running in 2013, I told alternate Miss Maddox face to face, I will make sure every speaker, every body with a following in this country reps that logo. And they did. Seti was there. Umar was there. Polite was there. All of them. Everybody was wearing Freedom Party logo. Everybody. It was everywhere. That's why Andrew Cuomo came for the Freedom Party. That's why the Board of Elections mysteriously lost 191,000 votes. Y'all ain't been in no goddamn trenches. All you are is a bunch of talkers and regurgitators, sticking with old stuff. Old. You still in 1950, 1980. We in 2025, and you still stuck. Keep moving. It's still stuck. Shout out to Jay. We support everybody. Now, as I go through this, another CMO tap event. There you go, Sister Pat, right there. Stop playing. There you go, Veronica, right there. Stop playing. Sister Keisha, we've been out here. Shout out to my brother Ashe. What up, Jay? You in the background listening?
In the cut.
So, when my brother Gerard was looking for funding for the film Messiah, which is now on Amazon Prime, again, Gerard is a Black American. So am I. Where was the Pan-Africanist with your money at for this film? Nowhere.
Not even $20.
There was nowhere. Knock it off.
$20.
We did that.
Is that Tad best friend right there?
You know how many financially Brother Tad and myself have? Of course. Brother Tad and I have supported. Ask us if it has been reciprocated. Talents and money. Here we go. Now, like I said, Labor Day, everybody's there for the Caribbean Day Parade on Eastern Parkway. Ask me if the Caribbean community in drove go to the African American Day Parade in Harlem, which is in September. The answer is no. But we're supposed to be inclusive. The problem is y'all been used to people laying down for so long, but when people start standing up, you get in your feelings. You get mad. Don't get mad. This should have been done a long time ago, but we had gatekeepers. Shout out to Dr. Iwa Aja. This is our culture. Everything about us. And now you got people trying to co-opt it. Where are these organizations saying nah? You have the Universal Hip Hop Day Parade. You have the Zulu Nation. All of these folks, nobody could check Fat Joe on his bullshit. Nobody could check Drake on his bullshit. Okay. Why many foundational Black Americans are delineating today? We have a unique struggle and a unique legacy. Not saying no one else does. And like Tad said, we respect that. We rocks. My husband is Jamaican. We rocks. But don't interrupt what I'm doing. And when I call you to the floor and I need you, front and center you should be. Because you owe. You owe. And that's why, Tad, if you ask a lot of these followers of certain ideologies or philosophies, what's your family lineage? I can guarantee you they can't tell you. Some of them don't even talk to their family members, Brother Tad. They ain't like we are.
Nope.
I ask people all the time when I was with UAM, what are you doing this for? I'm doing this for me and my family. I don't want to worry about my husband coming home. I don't want to worry about my male friends coming home. I don't want to worry about my sisters being sodomized and sexually assaulted. I don't want my grandson and my nephews to not come home, be shot in the back. If you should be fighting for you, your family, and then whatever. Because everything that you ideologize is a mystery. You wasn't there in 1914.
Nope.
Only thing you could do is read words that were left. And some words are not true. Excuse me. Some words are not fact. What makes something a fact? Anything that can be backed up by evidence. If there's no evidence, it's not a fact. It is a belief, a feeling, or an ideology. And I saw in the movement, as Taz said, we saw bad behaviors. We saw things wasn't right. When we talk about it, oh, you gotta sit down. Oh, we gotta put you down.
Yeah, we hate him.
Oh, you get too big for your britches. Now I want total transparency, and there has to be some checks and balances in this place. Everybody can't come amongst us. True story. Dr. Filet is in the chat, I think still. There was, the Freedom Party headquarters was on Franklin Avenue in Atlanta. So there was supposed to be a meeting, and everybody came into the office, and I walked in, and maybe about 5 minutes later, Dr. Filet walks in. Now, I saw the white woman when I came in here, but I thought she was just picking up some literature and going on. I was going to the back to do what I was supposed to be doing here. So I hear Dr. Filet say, what this white woman doing here? There was a check. She said, wait a minute, something don't look right to me. But if they got the same hue, a lot of people let a lot of things fly. And I'm never forgiving. That's just my personality. I don't like to let things fly. It bothers me. It's wrong to do so. Now, why many of us delineated? Listen, some people say FBA is at the tail end of slavery. Well, if you actually research your own family legacy and lineage, and you are lucky enough to find information that I have, going back to the 1600s, and some of my family members are in the chat, where we can show where our identity was changed after every generation. My family's identity was changed through a stroke of a pen. You see, prior to the census, you were given letters of birth. So say, for example, if Tad and Marcia together and they give birth to me, and Black is the doctor or midwife or whatever, mid-husband, he will give his letter of birth and write down the nationality. And when it got to the registrar, they could change it wherever they want to based on the community you lived in. But you wouldn't know that unless you go into the archives of the state and municipalities that you live in. These things are not in books. So, our unique struggle, our unique legacy. FBAs are descendants of those enslaved in the United States. From the fight against slavery, the civil rights movement, the birth of American music genres, and the invention of countless everyday tools, foundational Black Americans have been the backbone of America's wealth, culture, and progress. Period. Garvey said so. I read it to you. Okay? He said so. We were the best, and we still are. And that's okay. We never knocked you. But now, because we straightened our back a little bit, it's a problem. I work with many people, as Tad said. We work with many people. Y'all don't know me. You ain't never been in my home. You don't know my family. You know of me. And I keep it that way. Community work and my family and personal life are two different things. You don't know how it rocks. Because if you did, I wouldn't rock with most of y'all. Trust and believe that. In my personal life. But when we come out to do work for the community, we act as a whole. And acting as a whole, you have to have a code. There was never a code. In the 70s, 80s, 90s, or early 2000s. I was there for the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. If you wasn't there for that time period, don't talk to me. And I would know you if you're from New York. I would know you, but I ain't seen none of y'all. But anyway, misuse and misrepresentation of the culture. Many FBAs feel that people from the African and Caribbean diaspora have adopted FBA cultural expressions such as hip-hop, civil rights rhetoric, FBA created social movements. We created it. Without honoring or supporting the foundational people behind them. Worse, some have tried to rebrand or replace those contributions with their own national and cultural identities. I know a lot of Black people who have left the U.S. and live in other countries. They never show me any parades of other Black people marching in it. They don't show me pictures of them waving American flags and all of that. But we let you come and rock. We let you rock. Like Tad said, rep your set. We good with it. But that's you. Lack of reciprocity. While FBAs have often supported immigrant Black communities in America, fighting for civil rights that benefited all Black people, many believe that the same support is rarely returned. In fact, some of diaspora groups have aligned with anti-FBA forces or disrespect FBA identify. Listen, I saw a video last night. Shout out to Afro Elite. He showed a clip of this girl talking about we should be lynched, hung, skinned, and she can't wait to see it happen to us. Now, these are people from the diaspora saying that because they can't take a little roast. If you know foundational Black Americans, you know that's our culture. We will roast your ass. We are the creators of the dozens. We will roast you. So people can't take it, and then they get vicious. Hanging from trees. An African woman, she gets arrested by the cops. She tells the cop, what you arrested me for? Go get them Black niggas. People from the diaspora could use the N-word, nigga, all day long, and none of y'all do nothing about it. We have to gatekeep and protect what's ours. We have to. Because if we don't, everybody can do what they want with it. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Go ahead, Brother Tad.
Nah, you pretty much said a lot. You said a lot, and again, you know, the resistance and the pushback that we're getting right now is the same that I seen when we launched Straight Black Pride. Straight Black Pride is not a religious group. It's not can't say it's not a cultural group, but it expresses a particular lifestyle. We're straight, we're black, we're proud. That's it. That's it. That's all Straight Black Pride was. We didn't tolerate the foolishness, the sexual confusion that we saw coming down the pipeline when everybody's saying we all were crazy. Sister Keisha, you remember that? We saw my Straight Black Pride. We was fighting the rainbows. We was like, nah, we're not doing this. And I'm like, this is who we are. This is who we naturally are. We believe a black man should be with a black woman to produce black children. What's wrong with that? That's the laws of nature, correct? Foundational Black Americans, laws of nature. You want me to uphold all of these nations in Africa when I'm born in Brooklyn? I was born in Brooklyn Jewish Hospital. My parents are born in New York. My grandparents are from North Carolina and South Carolina.
It's crazy.
And then I go deeper. I go deeper and deeper. Yeah, I ran up one limb of the family tree, the Cromwells, that actually came from the continent, landed on the Drayton Plantation in South Carolina. But then we also up another tree. We have indigenous folks, Native American. My great-grandmother was born in 1910 in Halifax County, Virginia. And then I have my other great-grandmother who was born, I forget where she was born, but she was definitely Cherokee. And not even my great-grandmother. Her grandmother. I mean, her mother. So my grandmother's grandmother. And I got pictures. I got evidence. I got documents. Again, it's the rhetoric that everybody who's not white, you got to be black. And if you black, you from Africa. This is the same foolishness where everybody fell for the Kamala Harris bit. Again, here you got people cosplaying blackness, but when it's time for us to fight for what we've been fighting for centuries, these people want to thwart it. They want to undermine it. Sister Brooke can attest to this because she's been out there at these reparation hearings, and it's always people who look like us. They look like us, but they not from the soil like us. And they're jumping the line saying, nah, don't give them black Americans nothing. And if you give them something, I want some too.
And what do they do, Tad? Tell them what they do at these hearings, Tad. Go ahead, tell them.
No, they interrupt and say we don't deserve reparations. And then those who say we do get reparations, they put themselves on it. Yeah, all right, reparations is good, but it can't be just for black Americans. You got to make it for all people of African ancestry. That's not realistic. Because I don't know what anybody in Tunisia got to do with the struggle over here. I don't know what nobody.
And it's illegal.
Right, that part.
It's illegal. That's the thing.
You can't have race-based reparations or monies or anything. It's constitutionally illegal. If that's the case, white folks can still do what they do. And I mean, they know how to finagle the game because it's their system. But we smart enough. We built these communities. We literally, when they pushed us out to Oklahoma, thought it was barren land. Oh, the black folks can't do nothing with it. We built Black Wall Street. They burnt it down. We built it right back up. Everything we saying right, we need right now, we already had. A Sister Keisha read to you what Garvey said. He's been all over, and ain't nobody built what we built. But here it is. We built it. We opened the doors for other folks to come in, and the folks coming in into our house being disrespectful, and then got the audacity to say that we're a cult because we're delineating, because we're identifying with our roots. Jamaicans got identified with their roots. Haitians got identified with theirs. Cubans got identified. Dominicans, Puerto Rico, everybody. But for black people, and they don't realize this is white supremacist ideology. Subconsciously in your mind, you still view black Americans as slaves. So we should be and do whatever other people tell us to do. Look, in fact, as recent as this month, the damn Mexicans got the audacity to tell us to come outside and we should protest for them. Everybody think we they whipping boy. And all we saying is we tired of it. We're tired of it. We seen migrants come in this country illegally and get set aside. Things we literally fought, bled, and died for. Dr. King got knocked off the soapbox. because he started talking about reparations and money. He said, when I come to Washington, I want my check. He talked about how this country found money to support white farmers and give them grants for land, give them land grants and grants for machinery, so they could be successful and prosper. And in our lifetime, those of us on the panel watching and replay, we watching immigrants come here illegally. I ain't got no problem with immigrants, but if you're gonna come lawfully. They came illegally and still get money set aside, and then tell the government, got the government telling law enforcement, don't enforce the law. ICE agents, don't arrest them people, though they snuck across the border, though they broke the law, don't arrest them. What kind of shit is that? And here we get shot for nothing, just for being outside. Go ahead, Black.
And check out the full circle.
But meanwhile, if you jaywalk, they gonna lock you up though.
Lock you up and gun you down. Yeah, Brother Black.
And the full circle is this. Now all them white farmers is complaining that black people ain't working for them, while the immigrants the migrants get deported. So it's full circle time right now. Everything is coming back to the FBA, or I believe, this is what I believe. I was born here, so it's different for me, but I believe wherever you from, you should be there now, because the world is showing you that with all the things we haven't even touched yet on this show, and I'm not going to touch them unless we go there, later in the show or what have you, because
touch on it, Black.
Sister Keisha's cooking. I'm gonna let her cook.
You got about 20 minutes, Black. Just touch on it.
Well, they say that the way to Africa.
No, I'm listening. I'm just agreeing with y'all. I'm just agreeing. Go ahead.
Okay. They say the way to Africa is through the Grand Canyon, right? I'm sure y'all heard this already, right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Do you know that the Grand Canyon had a big crazy fire? They say a lightning bolt struck it, and it's burning white sage, and we know what sage is for. So it's cleansing the country. I don't know if you heard about that, but I'm just tying up the irony with what we're talking about with this event that happened last weekend.
Well, I've heard about that. I've heard about that stuff. I haven't seen any evidence and things like that, because we're constantly learning. I'm still climbing my family trees. We got branches going all over the place, So I'm more concerned about staking my claim right here. So when the money get bust down and thrown out, I got a legitimate claim and not skipping the line like so many other people are doing. Because I hear people saying black people don't need reparations, and if they get reparations, what they gonna do with it? What I do with my money is none of your goddamn business. What I do with my money is my business. You tell me I shouldn't go to work now? But again,
thank you.
These are historical injustices.
Why they didn't have that energy for the Japanese?
Right.
They can't have that energy for groups that they don't know of, right? They didn't.
But you didn't see other Japanese.
No, because other Japanese would not object to the growth of their people.
Everybody knows that. Knock it off, Marcia. Everybody knows they're Japanese.
No, what I'm saying is other Japanese are not objecting to the growth of their people. Black people will object to the growth of their people. That's nature. Anytime one person is getting up, you're trying to
wait.
That crab in that barrel.
Hold up. Pause. Who you talking about? Because not me and my family. We don't move like that. Not the people I move with. We don't move like that. So when you say stuff like that, it throws out a blanket statement, and that's not true. And even if we did, that's their business. That's the problem. This is what FBA is saying. Mm-hmm. Stay out of our business. Worry about your business. It's just like when they had the hurricanes and flooding in Haiti, or when Mama Baina Bello was on, and she was telling us the meaning of the suit and what she does with it and the whole thing. It was my job to make sure that there was no interruptions in what she does. Right? I can't say the same for other Haitians.
I can't say the same for
no,
all
no,
black
no,
people.
no.
What
But
I'm
this is,
saying
hold on, sis. This is where we're at. It's a fact. When you have these people who go into politics, let's say Eugene Matthew, whatever the hell his name is, who votes up and down the aisle against everything for FBA, but he doesn't have that same energy for immigrants. Next week, I'm going to show y'all a list of organizations, and we're going to go through their about and their missions, and you will find we are mentioned nowhere. But they got a red, black, and green flag up there, though, on their page. Listen. I don't get involved in Haiti's business. What the freedom fighters of Haiti are doing, right on. I got you. I would never say anything to disparage that. For the people in Jamaica who are fighting right now for access to their beaches that their lousy government allowed the Chinese to do. Right on. Do you? You have never seen me, my family, or my people interfere in that. We cannot say the same. And the reason is such is because we did not flee to those lands and interrupt that system. It's not the other way around. And y'all have to understand that. You got to understand that. You came into something and aligned yourself with the power structure. This comes out of your own mouths. Marley Grand's pop said it. I came to make money. I didn't care about that stuff y'all was talking until it happened to me. When 100 blacks in law enforcement who care, and the Nation of Islam and United African Movement and some people from CMOTAB got involved with Mrs. Diallo, when they need people to get them signatures done so we can stop one of the most wealthiest and high-profile men in the world from leaving the crime scene, none of these groups were out there with us. None of them. So now when I go to reparations hearings and we're advocating for lineage-based reparations, every commission meeting, every one, you always have people from the diaspora who come up there either trying to grandfather clause themselves into it or say we don't need it or come up with city plans that we ain't even talking about. They are always disruptors. And nobody from the Pan-Africanist movement is saying a goddamn thing about it. Now, I'm talking about New York. We got plenty organizations. Some of them show up and they advocate against us. Now, all of you who are Pan-Africanists, why you ain't checking that behavior? Why you ain't with them organizations checking that behavior? Huh? No, I don't see none of y'all. I don't see none of y'all.
They support the behavior.
Nobody told me how much money I should send for the people of Haiti. Ask how many, forget Haiti, how many Haitians have sent me a nickel? I'll wait. It's not reciprocal. It's not, family. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend it. I'm not going to sit here and try to make somebody feel good on their feelings. Because when you research, and that's why y'all don't want to research your own family history. Because if you did, you would see things more clearly. Because you fighting for a goddamn ghost. I'm fighting for mine. Tad fighting for his. Brooke fighting for hers. My fourth great uncle fought for your freedom. Ain't none of y'all fight for me. None of y'all. None of you ever contributed to Thorough Black Talk. None of you ever contributed to OG Wisdom Pocket. If I'm lying, Tal will tell me. None of y'all ever gave nothing. I've helped people out. The Black Dot, he sent me and Tad a message in the book. Thank you for our work in the community. He said, Keisha, thank you for giving me a platform. How many people I gave a platform, I didn't get a fucking thank you from nobody. And you still asking me for shit. Help me with this. Help me with that. Nobody sends me a fucking dime. So don't tell me that Pan-Africanism isn't a problem. It is a problem. It is a problem. And it has to be checked. Yep. Like I said, I rocks with good people. Veronica in here. Veronica is Pan-Africanist. I rocks with Veronica.
That's our sister.
That's her business. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm sorry, but none of you have reciprocated what I've given for you. None of you have.
Nope.
So,
you know what I realized, Sister Keisha?
I only speak from personal experience, from what I know, from what I see. Go ahead, Tad, what you say?
No, I was going to, because I'm in total agreement with you, because doing this work, you lose money. You don't earn money, you lose money. And you don't program. Let's unite, let's unify. Like I said, look, the fish stinks from the head. When you get to each organization, sis, I know you've been around a lot of the quote-unquote leaders of different organizations and how they don't get along with each other. And they want to tell us on the ground to unify, unite, when leadership can't even unify and unite. Why we don't have one building in each community. And I'm not talking about storefronts. And it's not a knock on storefronts. None at all. You know, shout out to the African Poetry Theater, which was a dope institution. Rest in peace to Baba John Watusi Branch. You know what I'm saying? Because when he transitioned, we had a place we could view his body in his spot. That was his. Sister
Marcia said, no, they wasn't.
Hold up. His body wasn't viewed in the African Poetry Theater? Did you go, Sister?
I was there. I'm going to say, let's continue on.
Right, because that's my point.
With that association. I'm going further.
Right, but that's not the point. The point is that we have small spaces, but why we're not organizing to get bigger spaces? Like I said, when Dr. Ben transitioned, Calvin Butt said it. He was like, yo, y'all got to bring him here, though. And that's a fact, because how many years have we been preaching Pan-Africanism? But where's our hall? Where's our space to really congregate for the Pan-Africans, rather? I'm still waiting on FDMG to open up. By the time that happens, my grandkids will be going there. And another thing, since we on
that's they do, right? That's they do.
And look, this is
got to change his name to Papa Smurf in a minute.
Right, because here it is, right? Everybody that supports that man that misrepresents what Pan-Africanism is supposed to be, and he's very disrespectful to black women. With his current situation right now, calling that lady the throat goat, that's disrespectful. The way he treats his daughter that's crying out for help is disrespectful. Every time a woman don't agree with him, he's disrespectful. But then he's always pandering to other women. And when us brothers call it out, like, yo, my dude, you're not doing no work. You're doing armchair revolutionary shit. Getting online, just talking about this, talking about hip hop. Like, you're not even a hip hop artist. Why are you concerned about what's going on in the rap industry and the community? And I'm talking about Dr. Sukiana, right? Why are you not investing this energy into building what you say you're going to build? Why are you not aligning with people who already have institutions built? Shout out to our brother Marcus Klein and Baba Baruti. You know what I'm saying? People who are really doing things in the community. The Uhuru Academy down in Texas. People are really doing what they can where they are. And we respect that. But for all of these people that got all these followers and likes and popping this stuff, why you're not concentrating your efforts in those areas and really building? It's all rhetoric. Like Sister Keisha said, yo, I've done presentations with turn-off notices in the crib. So yeah, I'm talking to all these people. My family, we about to be sitting in the dark, messing with y'all. Because the reality is you're not putting your money where your mouth is. And then with this hodgepodge of all different types of ideologies within the Pan-African community, I sit and watch everybody curse money. Everybody curse money, but then talk about, then they want to talk about, we need money. We need money. And Brother Mike, I was talking about the viewing. Shout out to Brother Mike Grace. The point I was making was, the small spaces that we have to do something in, because there was a viewing of Baba Watusi at the African Poetry Theater, not the funeral, the viewing. And what I said is, it's dope that he built it, so it could be there. That was his baby. That's his project. But we need it on a bigger scale so that we don't have to go to the churches. You know what I'm saying? So that we don't have to go to churches, because within the community, some of our folks denounce churches and Christianity. But when it's time for us to gather, we got to hold our hat in our hand and go to these churches.
And some don't.
Some do, some don't, because some go to the mosque, you know. But regardless, where's our spots? Where's our spaces? And that's the point I'm making. And it's not that I'm not talking about knocking no churches or no mosques. I'm just saying we got to take a critical analysis of what have we built within our ideology. And when it's not working, we gotta go to plan B. We gotta structure something different. But again, we got antiquated thoughts and ideas, and we're not building. We're not concentrating our forces. Leadership is come on, man. Look who the prince of it is. Look who the prince of it is.
Well, you're claiming him as your prince.
He ain't my prince.
Well, so
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
It's absolutely
antiquated people are telling. They still stuck.
The thing is,
hold on, y'all got to get his name right. He's the King Kong of consciousness. You know, forget all those other names.
Most of our elders that we are quote unquote looking up to and praise this Baba and praise this professor is full of crap. They are not actually trying to unify the children. They could care less about the children. That's why there are so many wildfires happening amongst our community. They do not want to train us. They do not want to give us space. Space, from my understanding, right? From my eldership understanding, is space is given by an elder. An elder says, my daughter, my son has been trained. My daughter, my son understands this philosophy. For these next few years, I am watching and viewing my son or my daughter in what they do. I am their elder. I am their Jedna. I am assisting their journey so that they can be the person that our community, our nation, our tribe, our society needs. This type of work is not manifested in this community, whether it's in America, whether it's on the continent or in the Caribbean, or, you know, however many ways they want to divide things these days. But everyone has an ecosystem and a strive that they must push. I agree with FBA. If Canada has an FBA, let Canada's FBA stand strong. If the Caribbeans have an FBA, let that Caribbean FBA stand strong. All the FBAs must stand strong on their needs. But to denounce one over yours is crazy, because we all got problems. We need to understand how to support and unify each other. And because there is no eldership that shows us, because as Brother Tad said, there'll be elders in a room that can't stand each other, can't speak to each other, can't do anything with each other, and can't show that type of reciprocity to the youngins. So guess what? The youth is going to do the same thing. Even if the youth is Generation X, we're going to do the same thing. We need to do better. It is our charge as Generation X to do better for the future generations. We cannot continue on the way we are because it's a demise to our system. People need the assistance of one another, and it's high time that we strive to support our brothers and sisters.
Okay, hold on. Because what needs to be done is for the diaspora to do your part. If you say that we are all together, that we rocking together, you have to live up to your end of the bargain, and you have not. You haven't. Next week is part 2. I'm going to show y'all how they haven't. I'm going to show you all of the set-asides. I'm going to show you all of the programs. Like today, I'm going to the supermarket in Gateway, and a woman from the diaspora, she's in front of me online, right? Dressed to the nine. Sister styling, 100. But she pulled out her EBT card. Yeah, but if it was us, then you say, look at them niggas. You see what I'm saying? Look at them. They nothing. They don't work. They don't want nothing. And some of y'all know that this rhetoric was going on. You did nothing. You did nothing. But now you mad because you getting called tethers? Knock it off. Some of you knew your parents was telling you these things. Stay away from them people. Don't mess with them people. Stay this, do that, and the third. What did you do to stop it? Get your stuff in order. We getting our house in order. We need y'all to get your house in order. And don't interfere while we getting our house in order. This is my house. We will get it in order. I need the Caribbean to get its house in order. I need Central and South America to get its house in order. And if the continent really rock with us, get your house in order. We can't come under one in fakeness, in falsehood, when somebody is the caucus and everybody is feeding off the caucus. That's what's been happening. That's what's been happening. For example, next week I will show you, I can only talk about New York. So we're going to use New York as the example, okay? Next week, I'm going to show you government jobs by demographic and ethnic group in the city of New York. You know, those jobs that the Black American Adam Clayton Powell fought for you to have? None of you bastards mention his name. None of you. So, again, to all my Caribbean folks, my diaspora folks, we rocks. As long as you on code. The minute your dumb ass get off code, we don't rock. Period. And I'm going to do everything I can to destroy you. You know why? Because my grandmothers, great-grandmothers, great-great-grandmothers, yeah, they speak through me. I know my family legacy on both sides. Freedom fighters. Maybe y'all don't want to research your own family history because you probably came from a long line of traitors. You probably came from a long line of house Negroes. You probably came from a long line of tethers. And that's why you're a tether. Because that's what you come from. Research your family history. Now, let's go to the flip-flop over here. Professor James Moore. Now, let's see what he says about foundational Black Americans now. Hold on.
And so what happens when Blacks come from other places, they tend to ally themselves with white people because that's where they can get the jobs. So they pretend, oh, you Black people don't want us. And so that, no, you're there because you didn't come here to be a brother to me. You didn't come here to be a comrade to me. You didn't come to be an ally to me in my crisis. You came here because you were an economic refugee, or a political refugee, but in most times you are an economic refugee. And since the means of production and the economy of the United States of America is predominantly controlled by white Americans, that's who you'll ally yourself with. So don't make excuses about why you're doing it. Just tell the truth. Know the truth. Truth will set you free. And in fact, Malcolm told us that truth alone will set us free. So let's get the truth first. And so what happens when blacks come from other places, they tend to ally themselves with white people because that's where they can get the jobs. So they pretend, oh, you black people don't want us.
You can't hear.
Family. Go ahead, Tag. Go ahead.
No, I just want you to clarify. What did I just hear? I'm confused. What did he say?
He said when black people from the Caribbeans come into America, they align
When you come here, you align yourself
from another country. You align yourself with white folks because they are providing you with an economic stability, quote unquote. Whether you understand what that economic stability means to your brother and sister that looks like you, that's a whole different propaganda. And that's where I stand, that our people don't understand propaganda, wherever they come from.
Okay. You sound FBA-ish. I don't know.
I'm sounding black.
Yeah.
Like brother black. Anunnaki.
You don't sound like
Anunnaki.
You're blacktastic on a thorough black talk show.
No, I just want, just for clarity for our audience, shout out to Professor Smalls, shout out to Barbara Smalls. You know, Sister Keisha,
a broken clock can be right twice a day.
Sister Keisha,
who's the broken clock though?
Go back to sleep, Black.
I didn't say nothing.
I didn't say
nothing.
I want you to say something.
Nothing.
I want
I
you to
didn't say nothing.
But I want you to say something, sis.
I'm being good. I'm being good.
No,
but you're only good when you're bad.
Part 2 next week.
Say something.
Part 2 next week, because we're going to go in heavy. We're gonna go in heavy. We're gonna go in heavy next week, family. So I want y'all to get ready because this was part 1. Because, like I said, there has been a lot of rhetoric for the past 2 years. I know some of you are just getting up on what's been happening. You're late to the game anyway. You're late, very late. But yeah. So now it's getting real nasty, and it doesn't have to be. And this is why I always tell y'all that study the mistakes of history more than you study the victories. What got us all in trouble from the outset? Tribal beefs. You still haven't learned. We doing our thing. Stay over there. Do your thing. Why are you so concerned? How I identify? You ain't got that energy for the LGBTQs. I'm identifying the way my mama identified, the way my daddy identified. Peace be upon them. My grandparents identified. My great-grandparents identified. My great-grandparents were Brooklynites. Prior to that, my family came from Baltimore, Rock Hill, Wicomico, South Carolina, Estelle, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia. Some people can't. And I know you can't, especially those of y'all who came from other lands. You know why you can't? Because your land was conquered. So whatever history you got, your conqueror gave it to you. Mine came by lineage. The griots of my family. Brother Tag got videos of his grandmother telling him his family's history. I showed y'all on this platform my aunts and OG cousins telling me our family history. Where yours at? I bet you can't. I bet you can't. Bring me the documentation of your lineage. Bring it. And don't bring me no 23andMe DNA test.
Yeah, not those.
Because according to them, you could be a descendant of a chimpanzee and a bird. So, you know, you can rock with that if you want. But I have documentations. I have certificates and honorariums from this government of my family's legacy. Where yours at? Don't come into arenas, committees, or hearings trying to disrupt me from getting justice for my ancestors. I don't stand in the way of CARICOM. I don't stand in the way of the AU. I mind my business. It's so hard for y'all to stop. The tribal beef can stop immediately if you just zip it.
That's it.
And handle your business. I don't get into online beefs with people because I don't know you like that. Because in the streets, if you see me up front and personal, even some of y'all who know me, know you better not talk reckless to me. Because I don't tolerate that from my family. I'm not tolerating it from you. If I greet you and I treat you with respect, I want the same. No matter what my ideological beliefs are. And feelings, y'all feelings can't stop you from doing that. It's pathetic. So, we've come to the end of our program. I can't wait for part 2 next week. Me and Tag will have more videos, more images. Y'all ain't see nothing yet. Brother Black, your final thoughts and commentary.
Sister Keisha, you need to call this show Cooking with Sister Keisha, because you cooked tonight, sis. And thank you. It's beautiful. I love hearing it.
Cooking
know
with
when I don't
Keisha. Cooking with Keisha.
See, you starting something new now. But yeah, great commentary, y'all. I learned a lot. You know, y'all know.
You just gotta just beat up Marcy in the chat. That's all.
What? Nobody beat me up today? Is Sister Marva getting beat up today? Wow.
No. Marcia. My mother gave me a name for a reason.
Well, that's part of the beat up. But anyway, real talk, great show. Thank y'all. Great education. As far as my commentary, the world is cleansing. I mentioned earlier about the white sage burning in the Grand Canyon. As of yesterday, when I last checked, 0 containment. So that means it's burning wild like a wildfire. I believe 20,000 acres at the time when I saw it yesterday. I didn't even look today. But a lot of things is happening. Y'all hearing about all of the volcanic eruptions, all of the earthquakes, all of the seismic activity. I don't got to repeat it. I've been talking about these things, and I told you these things were going to happen. Here we are. Delineation. I said earlier on the show as well that if you from somewhere, you should be where you from right now, because with all the uncertainty that's happening, you want to be around your loved ones and help them. That is the time we're in now, and I've been saying this for some years now. We're in a time now where you should be around those who love you and who you love mutually, not those you love and they don't love you back. And that's why I'm always by myself, because I don't have much support, but I got my family here with me right now as we speak. That's right. I'm not going to take too long. We way over. I want to hear Sister Marcia speak. So I'm going to release her name with respect on it this time and tell you I love you. I'll see you on the bridge next week. Check me out at melaninstitute.blogspot.com. And I see Tad on the roof when the spaceship come through. One love, y'all. Peace.
All right, Brother Black.
Thank you, Brother Black, for that great introduction. I would like to say that, we have a battle ahead of us. And brothers and sisters, it is about your legacy. Who were your great 8th generation? Can you go back 8 generations and say who were your great grandparents? I can tell you who were my great grandparents. my great-grandparents from IET, right? I'm never shy about where my people are from. My great-grandparents from IET, one Baba was a tailor, one Baba was a soldier. All the mamas were doulas. And unknown to myself, I took doula classes and I became a doula, because who your ancestors are is who you are, but you have to be willing to claim who they are. And, you know, long story short, I had a birth that was like, and it was that energy that allows me to be Jaquan's mom today. And so with that, I say it is very important for us to understand who our peoples were, because they live inside of us. They are our DNA. They are our structure. And it's important to do that research. If you don't do that research, you can't fight for FBA. You can't fight for Africa. You can't fight for the Caribbean, CARICOM, wherever you're from. You can't fight for it until you understand where your people and who your people were and are. So with that said, you are here in North America right now. The people are calling for you to assist them in their struggle. It is your duty. It is your national duty as a Black person if you take skin first. As an African person, if you take lineage first, that we all came out of Africa, to support your brothers and sisters where they are right now and in their fight right now. We've done it in the past. We can do it in the future. We can do it right now. So be present, be focused, be attentive, make time flourish. And if you don't have to make it, may it flourish, because time is on your side, Brother Tad.
All right, sis. Family, please tune in for part 2. And just for clarity, at least my position as an FBA, this isn't anti-African, it's not anti-Caribbean. Unfortunately, many people are anti-FBA. And I get it. It's a new concept, but it's actually not. We're just delineating. It means we're identifying ourselves, we're drawing the line. No longer will we accept an ambiguous identity and be whoever folks think we should be. We're practicing self-determination. We're telling you who we are. We're not letting you tell us who you think we are. So with that, we encourage everybody, man, go learn who your family is. Have conversations with your parents if you're fortunate enough to still have them around. Talk with your grandparents if you're still fortunate enough to have them around. How I started the conversation with my grandmother, I asked her, who's the oldest relative she remembered meeting throughout her life, whether her childhood or adulthood? Who's the oldest relative, and what was that like? She talked about her grandmother, Sophie Mitchell, gave her the history. Gave her history. Who gave it to me? My grandmother's grandmother. That's without the documentation. That's the oral history. That's the griot. That's the stuff that we are used to. This is before they changed our status and just called us whatever they wanted to. So I encourage folks, go out there, learn who your family is. So this way you could teach your children. And they won't be confused about who they are and won't accept any identity that's passed on to them. This is how we're going to keep our children safe and hopefully out the penal system and not subscribe to all of these non-productive identities that many of our young people have adopted because we're not clear on who we are, so we can't give them a clear definition of who they are. It starts with us right now. It's good to read all these books. It's good to look back to the heroes and the giants of yesteryear, but what are we doing right now? Every day we get active and productive, we're making Black history. And we're going to stand on that right here in this soil. So hopefully you were inspired by something you heard today. It's your turn to go out and inspire others. Don't forget the OG Wisdom podcast every Sunday at 2 p.m. Me and my brother C. Gutter. And this week we're going to have our brother Black Dot slide through and talk about his new book. But I want y'all to stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, there's always better days ahead. Sister Keisha.
Love it, 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 love it. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, because we're gonna have to clean this mess. We can't keep sweeping shit up under the rug. We got a nasty habit of that. No more sweeping the truth up under the rug. No more doing that. No more operating without a code of conduct. It's over. It's over. Shout out to Mr. Forrester. Gotta show the hubby some love. You know, because he said he learned some life. And how long we been married? 27, 28 years, something like that. I taught him about his family legacy.
Everybody needs a teacher.
So again, family, don't worry. The class is still coming, sis. The class is definitely coming. Genealogy 101. Genealogy. Oh, yeah. 26 there. It's 26. He older than me. Don't listen to these old folks. See these baby boomers? You can't trust their ass.
He still got some learning to do. It's all right. That's what he got you for.
I heard Sister Keisha going to be the headmaster at FDMG.
Anyway.
Whoa. Come on. Stop with the clownery.
Nah. I don't
We
want no
serious folks
no
over
of
here.
that.
We are serious folks over here. Brother Black, you want to play jokes?
I actually wanted Tad to give me a quack before I left today.
Freedom before the funny, my brother. Freedom before the
funny.
Freedom before the funny. Freedom before the funny, my brother.
Did you say it enough times? Was it 3
Freedom
times?
before the funny.
Oh God! You see, the Bronx was behaving all night. The Bronx was behaving all night. He was on his best behavior all night. I'm proud of you, Black.
But look,
I'm proud of you, brother. You ain't starting no trouble. It was Marcia in our private chat aggravating my nerves.
What did I do? What did I do? I'm just expressing myself.
Sister Keisha was cooking. You interrupted.
Anyway, family. Anyway, we got to get the people up out of here. We got to get the people up out of here, family. We'll see y'all Black again on the Brooklyn Bridge. Same time, same station. We out, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your week. Good night.
Hey.
On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight. Thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister K, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcy brings the heat, Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Thursday nights the world will see Black Power Media on a spree. Facebook, YouTube all aligned, breaking free from every bind. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves,